Okay, question 1. So we have 5 contestants in a TV show, and we want to find the probability that the 2 final ones selected are both female. So this is a probability question, so our answer will be in the form of a fraction. And for the numerator, we will have to find out how many ways there are to choose the 2 females. And for our denominator, we want to find the total number of possibilities. So to find the total number of possibilities, we will use combinations, and we're going to have to choose 2 people out of the 5. And then for the numerator, we're also going to use combinations, and we want to choose 2 people out of the 3 females. So all we have to do is solve for this fraction. This numerator is equal to 3 times 2 over 2, and the denominator is equal to 5 times 4 over 2. So this is just equal to 3 over 10, and that is our answer. Question 2, we want to find the perimeter of the quadrilateral, and we know that BC is 2, and we also know that all of the 2 triangles are isosceles right triangles, so that means that the 2 base sides will be equal in length. So since we know that BC is 2, then we can find CD and DB. And let's just start by calling CD X. So that means DB will also be X. And we know that X squared plus X squared will be equal to 2 squared, or 4. So we can solve for X. 2x squared is equal to 4. X squared is equal to 2. That means x is equal to the square root of 2. Now that we know x, we also want to solve for these other sides, DA and AB, and we're going to call DA and AB y. So we know that y squared plus y squared will be equal to the square root of 2 squared. So that's just 2. Then we can solve for y. 2y squared is equal to 2. That means y squared is equal to 1, and y is equal to 1. So now we can just add up all of the sides. 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus square root of 2, and that will be equal to 4 plus the square root of 2. Question 3, we want to find the largest integer n. So first of all, let's just add up all of this, and you'll probably need a calculator for this. So when you add up all of that, you will get 784. Conveniently, 784 is also a square number, so we can do the square root of both sides, and we'll be left with 1 plus 2 plus 3 ... plus n is less than or equal to 28. So now we just have to add all of this up and find what n is. You can use guess and check for this, or you can use the formula of you can use the formula for the sum of consecutive integers, adding consecutive integers. That's just n times n plus 1. Oh, I meant less than, not less than or equal to. N, so anyways, n times n plus 1 divided by 2 is less than 28, and this is equal to n times n plus 1 is less than 56, and we just have to find the smallest n, the biggest n in this case, and that's 6. Okay. Alright, question 4 says a lot of stuff, and you also have this weird diagram, but it's not that complicated. Basically, you just want to find the probability that a log in pond A will end up in pond B. So you have this random log thing. You have this random log, and you just want to somehow get it to B. And you have two ways of doing that. First of all, you can go from A to J to B, or you can go from A to K to B. So yeah, to get to J, there's a 1/3 of a chance that you can get to J, since there are two other pathways you can take. And then to get to from J to B, you have a 1.5 chance, since you have two options here. And that, when you multiply those two together, you get 1/6. And from A to K, you have a 1/3 chance to get to K, since you have these three options here. And then from K to B, you also have a 1/3 chance, since there are three pathways you can take. So 1/3 times 1/3 is 1/9, and you just add these two together. 1/6 plus 1/9, that's equal to 3 plus 2, and that is equal to 5/18. Okay. Last question. Last question is a counting problem. So we want to find out how many different license plate combinations there are. So first, let's do the letters. Okay, first of all, the license plate will be composed of 2 letters followed by 2 digits. And neither the digits or letters can be repeated, and the letter O and number 0 will not be used. Okay? And you have to satisfy these things too. So let's start with the letters. If we use the letter A as our first letter, then the second letter can be any letter from B to Z, except O. So basically, there are 24 ways of this. And then if the first letter is B, you can use any letter from C to Z except O. So there are 23 possibilities. For C, there are 22, and that's the same for all the way down to N, where there are 11. So the next letter in the alphabet after N is O, And since we can't use O, then there are no no possibilities. So the next letter will be P, and you can use any letter from Q to Z. So there are 10 possibilities. And then you do the same for Q, 9, all the way to Y, where there's only one. And you cannot use the letter Z since there is no letter after Z. So for the letters, you have a total of 24 plus 23 plus 22, blah, 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 plus 2 plus 1. And if you add those all up, you can use the sum of consecutive numbers formula, which is this, 24 times 25 divided by 2, that's equal to 300. But this is just for the letters. We still have to do the numbers. So if your first number is 1, then the next number can either be 2, 3, 4, whatever, all the way to 9. So basically there are 8 possibilities. And then this is the same for if the first number is 2, then you can use any number between 3 and 9, giving you 7 possibilities. So yeah, that's all the same. And finally, if your first number is 8, then you only have one possibility, since the only number that's after this only single digit after 8 is 9. So that means that the total number of possibilities for the numbers is just 8 plus 7 plus 6 all the way to 1. And when you add those all up, you'll get 36. So now all you have to do is multiply the number of combinations for the letters by the number of combinations for the numbers. So 300 times 36, that is equal to 10,800. That's a big number.